Welcome to the best tier list ever. Like, seriously, I spent days researching this, doing math. I really have no life. But good for you, this will give you a great overview of all the weapons in the game, and you can be sure it's not just opinions, because, math? And before you angrily comment, now you gotta pause the video. Before we start with the rifles, I assume you have these bad boys, which just give you more juicy critics and various weapon bonuses. And that's your formula for my DPS. Lower end is all hits and upper end is with all crits. This is probably not great for elemental because it's either super broken, my asthma, or fucking scam. Like manipulation, what is this crap even? Rifles. So all rifles use green ammo and get a 25% damage boost. Big hippo. You're probably imagining yourself ramboing enemies or wielding them, but that's only until you realize it's one of the worst weapons in the game. It makes you fucking slow, and while that high fire rate looks nice, it makes you shake harder than an earthquake and is very inaccurate. Well, I exaggerated a little. It is enough damage to be at least a CT after all. Cavalry. It's accurate and the third shot always crits. It has some recoil and not the highest fire rate, but oh boy does it deal damage. No real drawbacks. Solid B tier. Crimson Fire Scale. It's a fish that launches rockets. You just need to crit to charge them. Too bad though it's not very accurate, but it fires fast and deals fire damage. So it's great for the cat and elemental combos, which makes it a hot A tier. Dragon Chaser. This is kind of a weird weapon. It kinda sucks as a rifle with low DPS, but you can mark enemies and then auto aim just goes brrr, like it pierces everything in its way. And it also gives you speed. It can be quite good if you like the playstyle, but it's not great on all enemies, so I'm giving it just a C. Lightning Blast. It can make big fat balls and anything that passes it gets 50% damage boost, even grenade. It's really funny. The projectiles are kinda slow but accurate. While the DPS looks kinda low, it deals lots of lightning damage. 69 percent chance per second, which is really strong. Like, just combine it with a corrosion weapon and oh boy, you're in for a blast, a lightning blast. Anyway, it can be really strong, so it's an A tier. Rainbow Arch. It's literally a sniper rifle, like both at the same time. You can charge up a shot that deals 640 base damage, which is the highest damage of all guns. But it's still an imposter sniper, so it doesn't get sniper perks like high critics. But with a bit of work, you can deal quite a lot of damage. Otherwise, it's just a crappy rifle with subpar DPS. C tier. Submachine Guns. They fire faster than this meme, and this talent makes their green magazines extra thick. You also get 10% more speed and triple crit damage. Angelic Aura. It doesn't just sound holy, it also deals holy shit amounts of damage. Its fire rate of 24 rounds per second is the highest in the game, and it has the highest base damage of all submachine guns. Only problem is the low magazine size and stability, but if you get this monster under control, its accuracy easily lands a lot of them juicy crits. Definitely worth another A for the alliteration. Concealed ammo. It's a fucking piece of dynamite that shoots, and it's not really good at either of these. You can throw the entire weapon for big boom. It's actually not that big, but it takes so much ammo. It can deal high explosive damage, but you need the right stuff to use it effectively. Okay, you can make it an overpowered explosive, but otherwise it isn't great, so I just have to give it a C tier. Demon Lore. This is just fucking broken. Like, each crit hit gives you 10% extra damage until you reload, and since it comes with up to 38 magazine size, it's decent even with reloading. Oh, and don't even get me started on infinite ammo. If you get permanent 990% damage boost, stability, accuracy and recoil doesn't matter anyway. The only problem of the Demon Lore is it takes fucking forever to unlock. Screw these stem lobsters, this is S tier stuff. Dual Fang. It's one of the few weapons with built-in animal abuse. It's also the only weapon that deals 2 elemental effects at the same time. Combine this with lightning damage and you're dealing every elemental effect with one weapon. This with cat and single player is completely bust. However, otherwise it's kind of a subpar SMG that shoots stuff in a weird wave pattern, so overall the B tier. Scalpel. This is like the Angelic Aura, just super accurate. It only fires 12 rounds per second, but you can switch to 2-shot mode and shred everything. It has a higher critics of 3 and gets so accurate you actually have to aim. It's like a scalpel, get it? However, it has quite some recoil, so if you can actually aim, this is definitely an A tier weapon. Star Devourer. Honestly, I don't know why some people like this gun so much. Like, it automatically reloads, but that can get annoying. Fire rate is fine, it's stable and accurate, but it just doesn't deal much damage. It can get the lightning effect going well though. However, I just think there are stronger options. Without any good inscriptions, just D tier from me. Pistols. They give you 20% speed and also 100% projectile speed. And they all need smurf ammo. Aura of Venom. It can yeet your entire magazine super fast. Very broken with infinite ammo. It also has high critics and is fairly accurate. Oh, and it also has an insane elemental change on top. It's just a lot of fun and strong across the board. A tier. Foundry, well, literally any other weapon is better. Hey, at least you can use it for that speed during vaults or instead of nuking single enemies. F tier, what did you expect? Glimmering, it explodes after you hit enemies. Let's just cut the crap, it's shit. DPS is low for a pistol, fire chance is so low it's a joke, and it's not even a strong explosive weapon. It can have some really good inscriptions, but otherwise just avoid it. D tier. Icy Spear, I'm pretty sure this weapon is gonna get nerfed, like it pierces everything until it hits the surface, then keeps spinning, dealing AoE damage, and then you can recall it for guaranteed crit damage, if you crit before. So the DPS is effectively twice as high. With the bolts, this is absolutely bust. Just make sure they didn't nerf it in the meantime. A tier. Prism. Unlike the Glimmering, this can actually make use of the ricochet, has piercing, high critics, and actually deals damage. Oh, and it can also apply elemental effect. And don't even get me started on balls with this one. B tier. Scorching Rounds. This causes a small explosion on hit, which is smaller than my... It's fairly accurate, but high recoil, and it also has high critics. Yeah, and the elemental chance is also not bad. Furthermore, it can also use burning effectively, which otherwise is just a scam on low damage weapons. Might not have the highest DPS, but it's still a bad boy. B tier. Sunder. This is a really interesting one. Each shot splits up to 3 times for a total of 8 projectiles, increasing damage. They're also all parallel, so it's kinda like a shotgun, but you need distance. The critics is there though, and if you can combine this with balls, you're in for a ride. But it just needs too much distance, and it's not that great without good inscriptions. C tier. Talisman. This is one of the worst weapons in the game. You think homing on crit spots is nice? Well, it doesn't even have a high critics or damage for that matter. Like, the DPS is just abysmally low, but you can choose between all 3 element effects, you say. Have you ever tried actually triggering them with a weapon that fires slow as fuck and only has a 10% chance? Without any good inscriptions, this is just bad. D tier. Thunderstorm. You can charge up a lightning ball that absolutely destroys shields. However, it's completely useless against bosses or elites, just like manipulation. It also has piercing and is an okay pistol overall, but the DPS ain't that high. Lightning chance is okay, but they're stronger weapons. Really fun against normal shielded enemies, but otherwise just C tier. Shotguns. They get extra projectiles, have 2 times critics, and use blue ammo, except for Wild Hunt and Hell. Argus. This weapon has horizontal spread, which a lot of people don't like, but it also makes it useful in ranged combat. It also knockbacks enemies, which is really fun. Damage is really good. It just fires a little slowly, so solid B tier. Hell. More like hello trash. Well, it's not that bad. The double piercing is really strong against multiple enemies, but the big problems are the high spread, slow fire rate, and really slow reload, which loads 1 bullet at a time. Oh, and it also uses yellow ammo, which sucks a lot, but it's really strong against groups of enemies. It just lacks that single target DPS, so I'm giving it just a C, although it could very well be a B. I can see the angry comments already. Illusion. It's an illusion if you think this gun is bad. It's a fucking automatic shotgun. If you keep shooting, it shoots more and faster. It's just a bit inaccurate, but deals so much damage. Well, and if you get merciless combo, infinite ammo, or elemental effect on this thing, it can very well carry you through the whole run. Instant S tier. Porcupine. The weapon itself just sucks. Like, normal shots split into random directions on hit, so only like 50% of the bullets hit, which I put into the DPS count. You can also do normal fire, but it's just fucking slow. You can even do both things at the same time, but still sucks for damage. The only really good thing about this gun is its insane elemental chance. So if you can get any elemental combo going with this, great weapon. Otherwise, just way too low damage. So C tier overall. Pupil. You're gonna love this. It's ridiculously overpowered. You can charge up a shot for amazing accuracy and extra damage. It's easily a fucking medium range shotgun. It also has higher critics. Charging lowers fire rate, which is why I have 2 DPS ranges, but it's broken either way. Speaking of broken, it also has lightning damage with a great trigger chance. Combine that with corrosion and you're set for your entire run. How can you not like this? S tier. Wild Hunt. This has the highest damage potential out of all guns in the game. That's also why it's held back by yellow ammo, low magazine size, long reload, and high spread. But if you find any way to keep shooting with this thing, you can deal so much damage. It's ridiculous. But its raw base DPS is not that great, so if you can't unleash it, it's more like a C tier weapon. Snipers. They get extra critics, which is actually not that useful since they already have high critics. They all use yellow ammo except for Woodpecker and Sting. Bloody Drill. You might not like the sniper, but it can be really strong. It fires extremely slow, doesn't have the highest damage, high recoil, and long 2.2 second reload. However, it has piercing, which helps against groups. But most importantly, it applies bleed damage, which deals damage over time. And unlike burning, this damage stacks, which completely fucks bosses. Bleed also ignores armor and shield. kills. Not the best for normal enemies, but it absolutely destroys bosses. B tier. Double Caliber. This shoots twice and refunds ammo on double crits. It's accurate but has slow projectiles. It deals pretty high DPS, which is a lot higher if you account for the ammo refund. It's a really solid sniper if you can crit consistently. A tier. Golden Bow. You can hold to charge a shot, which increases damage by a lot. It even returns ammo at medium range, but doesn't have a scope and you have to deal with arrow projectiles. On the other hand, you don't have to reload. It's a versatile weapon with good damage, but not that great at long range. But the high DPS just makes it A tier.
Goshawk.
That's how you actually pronounce it. Most just call it Goshawk. It's basically what you get if you slap the golden bow on a gun. The projectiles are still slow, it needs charge up time, and has a long ass reload. However, you can scope and use it at long ranges, but it also limits its DPS potential. Still a solid B tier though. Piercing Flame. It has fire damage and pierces. Wow. It's the only special thing about this anyway. DPS is just low, but hey, at least it can make use of burning and it pierces, so that makes it a C tier after all. Sting. Calling this a sniper is just an insult. It has a super weird shooting pattern it repeats, and the last shot explodes. And it's a sniper! It doesn't even have a scope! At least it uses Smurf ammo and has an okay corrosion chance. But it has the longest reload and isn't very accurate, at least for sniper. Its explosion also destroys armor, which is a little too situational to make it a reliable weapon across the board. I heard there's some strong builds with the Tiger, but overall it really is just a D tier. Please spare me, Leilu mains, I never said I sucked for you. Strike Wing. This is my favorite sniper. If you hit enemies, it spawns 3 homing arrows attacking more enemies. It's a fucking sniper with multi-kill. It fires pretty fast for a sniper and you never have to reload. While the base damage seems low, it has a critics of 5, the highest of all weapons. Its DPS is just insane, and that is just for single targets. It can also get super overpowered inscriptions. Dude, it's a multi-hit sniper, just take it. S tier. Woodpecker, the second Smurf ammo sniper. Its fire rate is 10, which is absolutely insane for a sniper, but you need to fire manually, so you kinda need a woodpecker just hammering your mouse button. But if you do it, the DPS is crazy, and you can get powerful inscriptions like insta-kill chance on every hit. It's hard to keep the fire rate at maximum, but it has the A tier potential. Launchers, they can reload extra fast, but explosions can't crit. Blue ammo launchers give you 10% speed. Yellow ammo launchers minus 10% speed. Bone Dragon, this weapon sucks a lot, literally. It's like Saya's weapon from Overwatch, though the projectile itself is a joke, although it can crit. Gravity bombs suck a lot of enemies in and then go boom. So it's actually good for crowd control, but that makes it a dual-edged sword. Good luck sniping stuff while your teammate is just yeeting stuff around with it. B tier for the crowd control, but be careful in multiplayer. A Deafening Mortar. It consumes 3 ammo per shot, but creates 13 explosions in an area. Weapon skill allows for an arch trajectory, which is great for range. Reload is more than 2 seconds though. DPS potential is the highest of all launches, but you'll likely not hit all shots. But it's just completely overpowered on dog with more explosive range. That makes it an S tier for sure, but otherwise it's still a good launcher. Might also get nerfed. Frenzied Shark. Some people consider this the worst weapon in the game, and they're probably right. It launches bouncy grenades in an arch trajectory, which makes hitting stuff hard, though they explode on direct hit. It has the second lowest DPS of all launches. I would honestly prefer the Foundry for bosses. The only reason it's not F tier is because the AoE explosions make it usually better than the Foundry. Justice. This is the cutest weapon of the game. Just imagine it making Yoshi sound. Oh my god, I want a mod for this so badly right now. Anyway, it launches grenades, which you can manually explode. It also uses Smurf ammo, which makes you fast. The fire damage is a nice bonus, but the reload is 2 seconds. It's a very decent launcher overall, and super fun on dog. B tier. Shrieker. It's basically an explosive sniper. It's accurate and has range, but if you hit a crit spot, the whole explosion also deals crit damage. This can lead to insane DPS for a launcher. The charge up time is a little annoying though, and the explosions are bigger if you miss, so that's kinda interesting. It's really strong and can get amazing inscriptions. A tier. Tiger Cannon. This cannon makes big chungus explosions, like they are huge. They also have high damage, but you need to reload after every shot, which takes 2.5 seconds. It has great potential, but it's just held back by reload time. With the right stuff it's great, but on its own it's just a C tier. Injectors. They get 25% extra lucky shot chance, which is pretty much the same as sweet old damage. They have 2 times critics, consume green ammo, lots of it, and give you 10% speed. Fire Dragon. It's a flamethrower with piercing flames. Like, it just sets everything on fire that gets in its range with its high effect chance. Like, it's amazing at applying the burning effect. Just the reload is kinda slow and it's hard to crit with flames. Really good weapon overall, A tier. Laser Glove. Each hit on the same target boosts damage by 1% up to 100 times. It has perfect accuracy and no recoil. But the damage is just not the best. Like, it has fire damage, but the chance could be higher and it doesn't spread like the dragon does. B tier. It's still quite good against bosses. Rainbow. This automatically fires at enemies. Sadly, it doesn't fire rainbows. You can also launch a mark to always crit, which also gives the beam wall hacks. Oh, and also speed. DPS could be higher, but it allows you to focus on stuff other than aiming, which could be useful for some builds, but I wouldn't use this for main damage. C tier. Thunderclap Glove. Compared to this, the Laser Glove is just a joke. Its DPS might look low, however it hits all targets in an area, dealing massive crowd damage. Not only does it spread damage, it also spreads elemental effects better than any other weapon. Combine this with Corrosion and you'll know why some consider this the strongest weapon in the entire game. S tier. It's just too strong with Corrosion. Swords. I talked about speed before, but these swords are just... Most give 30% speed by default, but the talent adds 25% speed on top of that. They use blue and yellow ammo and cannot crit. Fire Tower. This sword only gives 10% speed and needs yellow ammo, but you never need to reload it, and it can launch a fire wheel when you can't reach stuff. It has the highest base damage of all weapons, which actually works really well with the high burning chance, but also has the slowest attack speed of all swords. A tier because it makes great use of burning. Flowing Light. I love this thing. You can do a powerful burst attack and don't need ammo to swing it. It can also stagger enemies. Its much faster attack speed makes applying shock effect also easier. It's a good sword with lightning damage. A tier. Poisonous Ghost. After lots of hits you get skill uses, which release energy blades dealing damage based on enemy HP. Kinda nice since it also has more range. Corrosion chance is just 30%, but on the third hit you have a 100% chance, but also consume 3 ammo. This makes you reload quite often, which lowers the DPS with its 2.5% reload. It has a lot of potential with its high attack speed, but the long reload drags it down and Corrosion isn't that strong on its own. So just B tier, but it can easily get quite strong with the right stuff. Before you start following this list blindly, it's really important you consider your character, the inscriptions, and your cult scrolls. This is just a rough overview of all weapons. Every weapon has a use case where it's quite strong, except for Frenzied Shark. That always kinda sucks.